Welcome students, my name is Ramen Singh Chauhan. We will be studying today's topic roto inversion. So before we start roto inversion, we will talk about some point symmetries. What are point symmetries? Like there are many symmetry operations when we are performing that, and at macroscopically level it is found that at least one point remain where it was, like applying many macroscopically visible symmetry operations, we can observe that one point in the crystal remains invariant, that is, that doesn't change its location, its shape, etc., and that can be called center of symmetry, or that can be given that can be considered to be a point symmetry operation. In these operations, we have reflection in a point, that is inversion. When we are talking of inversion, there is center of symmetry. Reflection in a plane or mirror symmetry, like when there is a reflection in point, that is center of symmetry, because point refers to zero dimensional, and that is why we call this center of symmetry. Reflection in a plane, when we are considering a plane and then considering the reflection, then that is called mirror symmetry. Rotation about an imaginary axis, that is rotational symmetry, that we have already discussed in previous lecture. Rotation about an imaginary axis, that is rotational symmetry, and then rotation and then inversion. If rotation is there and after rotation inversion is also there, then that is called roto inversion. So these are few point symmetry operations which we saw that are along a point, plane, imaginary axis, and combining rotation and inversion. These will be discussed, and here we will be discussing mainly about roto inversion, but we will have some discussion about center of symmetry and mirror symmetry also. So mirror symmetry, what is mirror symmetry? You know, when you are observing in a mirror, you observe symmetry of your face, etc. That is called a mirror symmetry. So in similar way, we can define in physics terms a mirror symmetry operation is an imaginary operation that can be performed to reproduce an object. That is, if we are having one object and we put a mirror plane, then that object will show its reflected image, and hence we can define a mirror symmetry in symmetric objects, that if there is an axis or there is a plane, by which plane we can divide the object in two parts and both will be reflected image of one another. So the operation is done by imagining that you cut the object in half, then place a mirror next to one of the halves of the object along the cut. So if the reflection in the mirror reproduces the other half of the object, then the object is said to have mirror symmetry. That is what we said, that we are having an object, and about its symmetry plane, if we cut it and then we place a mirror, then observing in mirror, the half part will be reflected, and that half part plus the first part which is being reflected, if we combine those halves, then we will observe the whole object. So that can be, we can consider an example, that is our body. Or before considering the example, we can say the plane of the mirror is an element of symmetry referred to as a mirror plane and is symbolized with the letter M. So when we are considering mirror symmetry, there is a mirror plane, and that mirror plane is reflecting one half and giving the complete object. So, human body, for example, we can consider human body is an object that approximates mirror symmetry, with the mirror plane cutting through the center of the head, the center of nose, and down to the groin. So, we can say, if we imagine a mirror plane, if we consider that our body is made up of two parts, from top to bottom, if we start from the head, and from head we are coming to nose, then coming to this and going down, then we can find that the left and right part of our body, they are symmetric. If we place a mirror plane in the center, a plane which is cutting our body in two parts, if we place that mirror plane there, then one part will reflect the other. Like, then we will get the image of other part also, and combining these two parts we can make our whole body. So, this type of example we consider in mirror symmetry, or we can say that this emphasizes or this can explain the mirror symmetry, the example of our body that can clearly explain, which we are seeing in our everyday life, that body is an example of mirror symmetry. We can use body as an example. So, now we will consider some other examples. Here we are taking a rectangle and we will consider the mirror symmetry in rectangle. So, here we can consider two mirror planes in rectangle. Here the symbol of mirror plane is represented as M, that we have talked earlier, and here in this also, in this diagram, we have seen that we are considering rectangle and we are shown one mirror plane along vertical and the other one along horizontal. If we consider this mirror plane along vertical, we consider this half part only, this half part is taken, and we put a mirror plane here, and the reflection of this half part will give this dotted line part. And if we combine this, we can see that this is giving the whole rectangle which was given earlier, which we considered. In same manner, if we took the upper half of this rectangle and put a mirror plane, then the reflection will give us the image in the mirror, and we can see that this lower part is shown by this dotted line that is reflected from this upper part, and this gives the complete rectangle. So, we can say that in case of rectangle we have two mirror planes, and in this way we can explain the mirror symmetry by these mirror planes in rectangles. So, we can consider or summarize that rectangle on the left has a mirror plane that runs vertically and is perpendicular, and rectangle on the right has a mirror plane that runs horizontally and is perpendicular, and the dashed part of the rectangles below, so the part of rectangles that would be seen, these are the dashed parts that would be seen as a reflection of the mirror. Again, we can say that any rectangle cannot have a mirror symmetry along its diagonal. That is, when we are joining two opposite corners and the line or the plane passing through these opposite corners as shown in this diagram, that will not give a mirror symmetry for a rectangle. We can see that if we are taking this half of the rectangle and putting it there and putting a mirror plane along this, then we will have this pattern, and this will form a quadrilateral, but this will not form a rectangle. So, we can say that any rectangle cannot have a mirror plane or mirror symmetry along its diagonal. So, in this way that we can understand what is mirror symmetry and how we can explain the mirror symmetry and what are mirror planes. Now come to center of symmetry. Center of symmetry is another operation that can be performed through inversion of a point. Center of symmetry is inversion point, we can say. In these operations, lines are drawn from all points of the object through a point in the center of the object, and that center is called symmetry center, and that is symbolized with letter I, small I. And the lines each have equal length that are equidistant from the original points. When the ends of the lines are connected, the original object is reproduced inverted from its original appearance. So, what we can say that any center of symmetry, that is an inversion through a point, if we are talking of center of symmetry, that is inversion through a point. What we are doing in this? We are taking the center of the object, suppose we are having some crystal, then center of that crystal or any object which we are considering, the center of that object, and we take that center, and from that center we join all the points. We join point in the surface, we join points of the object with that center, and we are observing that these equidistant lengths, because these lengths which will be formed by joining the points from the center to the points of the object, that will form or that lines will be equidistant, that will be equal in length from the original points, and we will observe that these will be produce an inverted appearance of the object. If we are observing on the upper side, we will find that inverted appearance on the lower part. So, we can consider it from this diagram here. This is any object, and this point is in inversion point or center of symmetry or center of the object. From here we join these lines. We join points on the object which are equidistant, here on the upper side and here on the lower side. And from here we can find in the second diagram that we disappeared or we ignored these lines. We are not showing the lines here. This is inversion point, and this is the shape which was formed by joining the equidistant lengths, and this is the shape which was formed on the lower side. So, we will find that these two shapes are symmetric but inverted. Here you can see this is the corner, here you can see corner is on this side. So, we are finding an inverted image from the center of symmetry. So, this is center of symmetry which is giving inversion. So, in this case, if an object has only a center of symmetry, there is only one center of symmetry, we say that it is having one fold roto-inversion axis. And note that crystals that have a center of symmetry will exhibit the property that if you place it on a table, there will be a face on the top of the crystal that will be parallel to the surface of the table and identical to the face resting on the table. So, in this way we can find the center of symmetry and we can understand what is one fold roto-inversion axis. Now, consider this example. Here we are having two asymmetric faces, but from this center of symmetry we can find that they are inverted images. So, the atom consists of two asymmetric faces here. The every part of the atom can also be found on the opposite side of some point at the same distance. So, that is giving reflection, or that is a point of inversion, that we have understood in previous also. Here we can understand this center of symmetry and inversion. Now roto-inversion. What is roto-inversion? That is combination of rotation with a center of symmetry perform the symmetry of a operation of roto-inversion. That in roto-inversion, rotation and inversion is taking place, means we are having a center of symmetry, and along with center of symmetry, if some rotation is there, we are rotating, then we are getting rotation and inversion. That's why we called it roto-inversion. And the objects which have roto-inversion symmetry have an element of symmetry called a roto-inversion axis. So we can say in roto-inversion we are having some axis, the objects which are having axis, because along this axis, if inversion is taking place and rotation is also there, then that will give the roto-inversion axis. A one-fold roto-inversion axis is the same as a center of symmetry. As discussed earlier, we have seen that when we are talking of one-fold roto-inversion axis, that is nothing but that is considered as a center of symmetry, where only one center of symmetry is there. And other possible roto-inversions are discussed further. So let's two-fold roto-inversion. Here we can see that we are having two in this diagram. We can rotate this diagram by two different axes, and if we are involving the operation of two-fold inversion involves first rotating the object by 180 degree, then inverting through an inversion center. So this operation is equivalent to having a mirror plane perpendicular to the two-fold roto-inversion axis. So here we can see we are having a mirror plane here, and we can rotate by 180 degree, and we are using this mirror plane, then we will have the same object, or we can see that symmetry is there and inversion we will find. So that is two-fold roto-inversion. And a two-fold roto-inversion axis is symbolized with two bar. Like here we can see there is a bar on the two that gives the two bar or two-fold roto-inversion. And since this is the equivalent of a mirror plane M, the bar 2 is rarely used. Three-fold roto-inversion. This involves rotating the object by 120 degree and inverting through a center. If we are rotating the object by 120 degree, it is like the same thing what we discussed in rotational symmetry. What we take, if object is repeating itself by some rotating by some angle, or that is showing some symmetry when it is rotated by some angle, then that was called that number of fold or that fold of rotational symmetry. But here if we are rotating by some angle and we are observing inversion of the image by some center of by some mirror plane, then that is called roto-inversion in general terms. And if we can have two axes or two mirror planes while rotating by 180 degree, then two-fold. If we are having rotation of 120 degree, then that is giving the three-fold roto-inversion axis. So in simplest term, we can say that involving rotation of the object by 120 degree and inverting through a center, that is three-fold roto-inversion. A cube is a good example of three-fold roto-inversion, and we can see that there are actually four axes in a cube, one running through each of the center of the cube. We can see that one corner is there, second is there, third is there, and fourth is there. So we can see that 1, 2, 3 and 4, there can be four axes through all the corners in the cube, So this is the threefold roto-inversion, and if one holds one of the axis vertical, then other three faces on top and three identical faces upside down on the bottom that are offset from the top faces by 120 degree. Like we are having four axes, and if we keep one fixed, then we can observe the inverted image by 120 degree rotation. Now fourfold rotation, this involves rotation of the object by 90 degree, then inverting through a center. An object possessing a fourfold roto-inversion axis will have two faces on top and two identical faces upside down on the bottom if the axis is held in the vertical position. So we can say here, if this object is there and we are having fourfold rotational axis like this, then two identical faces are on the top and two identical faces are on the bottom. In sixfold roto inversion, we rotate the object by 60 degree and invert through a center, that gives sixfold roto inversion, and this operation is identical to having the combination of a threefold rotation axis perpendicular to a mirror. That can be considered as combination of threefold rotation axis perpendicular to a mirror. So this is a sixfold roto inversion. So in this way we saw what are roto inversion and what are different folds of roto inversion, what are mirror planes, what are center of symmetry, and what are point symmetries. This is all for today. We will take our next topic in our next class.